Join the epic migrations of three remarkable bird families, returning home to raise the next generation.
Wings Over Water is an IMAX film opening at the Carnegie Science Center today. And yes, if that voice sounds familiar, it is Western Pennsylvania native Michael Keaton. He actually narrates the documentary.
But he's not the only big name who lent his voice to the project. Joining us here in studio is rock and roll legend Huey Lewis, whose music is part of the film. And also joining us is the director of the Carnegie Science Center, Jason Brown. And we're so happy to have both of you here with us. And we really want to find out what this film is all about.
Well, it's all about conservation, and it's about a special area in the United States called the prairie potholes or the prairie wetlands, which is an area probably about the size of Texas, incorporates 5 states, 3 Canadian provinces, is home to 70% of the migratory birds in North America, and it's a place most people don't know anything about. And it's very important in a conservation way.
So you decided to lend your music to this documentary. Why did it speak to you? Why did it mean so much that you wanted to do that?
Well, my first love is music, and my second love is the outdoors and Mother Nature. And I'm a fly fisherman, and I've been a conservationist for a long time. Chris Dorsey, who produced the film, is a friend of ours, and we fly fish together. So it was a no-brainer for me. He asked me to use the song, mostly to get me involved, knew I was passionate about conservation, so that's what I thought.
And this documentary, Jason, is really part of a big week for the Science Center.
It is. We're actually opening an exhibition called Guitar, the instrument that rocked the world. So when people heard that Huey was going to be at the Science Center, everyone assumed that's why he was going to be there. But in fact, I learned what a conservationist he really is. And at the Science Center, our role is really to delight, educate, and inspire. And so we think a film like this, especially on this amazing screen in 3D, is a great way to build the next generation of conservationists. Because as he said, without people understanding and knowing about these potholes and the wetlands, there's nothing we can do about it. And the one other thing I'll say is that last night we had dinner, and Huey was really poignant in saying he can care about conservation and I can care about conservation, but it's not going to matter unless everybody cares about conservation.
Right. Yes.
And that screen, that wonderful IMAX theater, I mean, whenever you watch a movie on that, it is so impactful, and it really does make an impression. Huey, I have to ask you, I mean, I will tell you, the station has been a buzz because Huey Lewis is coming in. Oh my gosh, and everybody's like, do people still come up to you and like start singing songs to you? Like, what's it like to be Huey Lewis?
Well, yeah, and it's interesting because they all have it. We're just in the green room, and everybody's got a story about a certain song,
Yeah.
And because it was an interesting time, the early '80s, when you look at it in terms of radio. CHR was the format. We all competed for one format. There was only one way to have a hit, one way to exist if you were a songwriter and wanted to sing your own music. You needed to have a top 40 hit. Right. There was the only avenue. There was no jam bands. There was no internet, any of that. So that period of time, those songs had major impact.
Yeah, and you had so many hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been listing them all week.
I think it says so much about how much you care about this, to come to Pittsburgh to see this kick off.
Well, I lost my hearing about 4 years ago, and unfortunately I can't sing. I can't sing enough I can't hear music enough to sing. So fortunately, a little silver lining is that I can, I have made a deal with myself. Let's do something that you care about, and I care about conservation. So that's fortunately the silver lining is I'm here and I'm helping with the movie. Otherwise, I'd probably be on the road somewhere.
That has to be so incredibly difficult. That's your passion.
Yeah, it was a tough pill to swallow. Because music's my first love, and not only can I not sing and play right now, I can't even enjoy music, right? And that's the worst part about it. But there are lots of people out there worse off than me, and you need to remember that. So I'm grateful for the 70 years I've had, and I'm still fine.
Well, you are truly a superstar, and we're so thankful that you're here in Pittsburgh and also lending your voice to this film. Thank you so much for joining us, both of you.
I hope you see it. You'll love it.
We want to check it out.
Absolutely.
All right, we look forward to hearing the power of love as part of this documentary. I kind of want to sing it. I won't do it though.
You don't want him to. Trust me.
Go.
Wings Over Water is showing in the Rangos Giant Cinema at Carnegie Science Center from now through October 30th. So you have plenty of time and no excuses.